Welcome back, YouTubers. Welcome to Dreamworld Observatory. Tonight you're in for a treat. We're outside with the top open on the observatory, and we're actually going to use telescopes tonight. Someone was looking at our videos and they asked me a question about what do I see in the telescope as far as the moon or planets. Now what they're referring to is we've been talking about 3 different size telescopes. So what I'm going to do tonight is we're going to see. And tonight we have a quarter moon, so we're going to use the quarter moon and all 3 telescopes and see what we can find out. Okay, here's what we got. In order to do that, the easiest way to do that, to show all 3 scopes, is to use the same eyepiece in all 3. Well, you know and I know that you and I can't both look in that eyepiece at the same time. So the only thing I can do is do this as an image. Well, what I have here is a neat little device. It's actually a camera, if you think about it, but it's also an eyepiece. It doesn't work very well unless it's sticking inside of a telescope. Now, what this is about equivalent to your high power eyepiece that you have with your telescope. And in this particular case, it's going to be about 5 millimeters. That's pretty good high power. So the image we're going to get with that one, now this particular scope here, now this is an 80 millimeter. It's an f5, which is about 400 millimeter focal length. This next one we're going to use is, remember the old red one that we got, is a 125 millimeter, or 5 inch, and it's an f8, and it's right at 1,000 millimeters. And the big one, of course, is a 10 inch mirror, which is 254 millimeter, and it's an f10, which will give us a 2,540 millimeters. So we're going to see the effect of looking at the quarter moon and all 3 of these scopes. Now you can do the same thing with a low power, but I don't have a low power camera. I can't reduce that down. So we have to take into consideration that we're looking at high power, and if you're looking at low, you get the same effect. Okay, what we got here is I've got the screen set up, and what you're looking at is I've got the 80 millimeter scope activated, and I've got the little eyepiece camera inside of it, and what you're seeing is on the computer at the bottom is the image is actually coming from the telescope, and I've projected it up on a wide screen up on the wall here so we can actually see it a little better. I think what we need to think about here is, if this is a high power eyepiece, it fills up our image with the moon itself. If this was a low power, you would see a whole lot more sky around the moon, and in fact the moon would be smaller. Now this is the 80 millimeter, and we're going to now get ready and set up the other telescope. Okay, now this will be the 5 inch scope and 1,000 millimeter focal length. This is an f8. It's got the same eyepiece in it. Now I'm going to have to operate this one by hand because if you'll notice it's actually moving because it doesn't have a drive on it. But I'll let you have a good look at this. Now you'll notice the craters are pretty good size on here. I got a little bit off center, but we should be able to tell something about it. There's a good crater right there. Okay, now we're going to set up for the next one. All right, we're looking at the 10-inch scope right now, and what's going on right now, it's some extreme high power on this scope. We got a little bit of turbulence in the air. It can't keep it focused. It's going in and out. You can actually see it moving, and the scope is not moving. But as you can see, if you evaluate the 3 scopes that we've done tonight, there is a major difference using a high power eyepiece, and you will have the same effect with a low power. Well, it looks like we have, I guess we're going to compare all 3 of them right now. What I have is the first one is the 80 millimeter, the second one is 125 millimeter, and the third one is a 254 millimeter. So that's 3, 5, and 10-inch scopes, and you can really see the difference in the size of the planet, of the moon, as you're looking at it right now. This would be good if you look down at the bottom, you'll see that the first one is 80 millimeter, and it's magnified at 80 times. The 125 millimeter scope with a 5 millimeter eyepiece is magnifying at 200. And the 10-inch scope, the 254 millimeter, is magnifying at 508. So that makes a heck of a difference. So hopefully you got to see a pretty good representation. Even though the seeing's not very good tonight, everything's moving in and out, and so that should give you a good indication of what you would be able to see. Although this is with a high power eyepiece, I very seldom ever use a 5 millimeter, so I usually go up to about 9, maybe 12.5. That's usually about as high as I go. When you get up past that, you really got to have good seeing that night, or you will have a hard time focusing. Well, how'd you like that? This being the first time that we've actually opened an observatory during one of our videos. We're going to do more of that. There's some things that are coming up that we're going to get involved in, and we'll be doing some open sky work. I'd like to thank Tanya for her interest. She's the one that inspired this video. She was interested in what the 3 different scopes will actually show, and I actually come up with using one eyepiece, and we'll be able to see exactly what the effect will be. Major difference. Until next time, if you haven't subscribed, go down below and hit subscribe. If you've already subscribed, don't do it again. If you have any comments, scroll way on down. You can go all the way down, you'll see some pictures down below. Go all the way down, and you'll hit an area that says comments. If you got a comment, leave a comment. If you got a question, leave a question. If you got an idea for a video that you might want to see, put it down there. I'll get back with you, and you may inspire a new video. So until next time, clear skies and keep looking up.